Today I am sharing 8 practical but really powerful tips that can help you on your journey to slow living. These are actually things that I do on a day-to-day basis that I think will be really helpful for you. And this is episode 2 of my 4-part slow living series. And if you didn't see episode 1, I'll include a little note box right here so you can go see that. And let's jump into the tips. The first tip is really being mindful in the morning. The morning, those first 20 minutes, really dictate how your day is going to unfold. I think if you start the day off on the right foot, that's the best scenario. And I debated if I should create a video all about my morning routine, but I don't have one. I think what's more important is that you use the morning to really be intentional and reflective of the type of day you want to spend. And how I do that is by adding a lot of buffer time in my mornings. So I have a toddler and she has daycare and I have work. And so you can imagine that getting her out the door sometimes is a struggle. And kids are the best teachers of slow living because they are slow and they drag their feet and they don't want to go places. But what we have done is we've created a lot of buffer time. So when she wakes up and she's a little bit tired and drowsy, well, then she can come and cuddle with us while she eats a little bit. And then we can play while we're getting ready to get dressed. And we have little peekaboos when we're saying goodbye. And so I've really slowed down the morning process instead of rushing out the door. If you want to build a routine, that's cool. You can do that. Routines have never worked for me. They cause me more stress than anything else, but I've heard a lot of people say that routines really work for them. So if that works for you, perfect. But please, it's not perfection. Don't aim for perfection. I don't need you to be drinking a certain number of cups of water and this, that, and the other. Just whatever feels right for you. And if that's sitting on the couch with a glass of water looking outside before getting ready, then that's what that is. But slow it down in the morning. That will set you up for the rest of your day. The second tip I have is really about learning to say no to things. We often just say yes to everything, to commitments, to whatever, and we fill up our days with things that aren't even important to us. And if you know your values and you know what's important and you know what takes priority, then you also recognize that you're going to have to say no to things. And saying no is super powerful because by saying no, you're protecting your time for something else, for what's truly important to you. And the act of saying no should be seen as self-care. And it can be done super tactfully without hurting anybody's feelings. I'll be creating a video all about how to say no, but learn to say no. Be comfortable with saying no. Practice it as much as you can. That is a really important tip. So the next time you feel pressure to say yes to something, take a step back and question, is this actually aligned with the life I want to live? Is it aligned with my values? Is it going to take time out of something else that I truly want to be doing? And so before you say yes, it's there's this book called Essentialism, and they say it's the slow yes and the quick no. So you can say no really quickly, but if you're going to say yes, really reflect before you say yes. The third tip is to take breaks so that you can check in with yourself. Sometimes we're such a go, 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 go society that we forget that we can actually stop. I remember in jobs, I would not take my breaks, not take my lunch. And if I did take my lunch, I would just be thinking about work or doing work while doing something else. And that's not great because if you never stop to actually reflect on what you're doing, then you won't really recognize if you're living a life that you want to live. I've heard stories of people who were stopped one day because they burnt out or they had a medical issue, and they were like, man, I've been staying in this job for 20 years and I don't even like this job, but I was too busy to recognize that I wanted to be out of this job. And please don't let that be you. So learn to take breaks to check in with yourself, reflect on how you're doing, how you're feeling, and trust those instincts, just listen to yourself. We don't listen to ourselves enough. And I think that's why a lot of us have so many issues, right? It's our body yelling at us like, something's not right. Listen to me. So take breaks and listen to what your body's telling you. And if your body needs rest, please take that rest. Tip number 4 is accepting imperfection. Perfection doesn't exist, and life is imperfect, and honestly, imperfection is beautiful. And if we wait for perfection, we'll never make any strides forward. So for me, for instance, you would not be watching this video right now if it wasn't for me trying to accept imperfection. I've had this series idea for a while now, and I've been just too scared to actually sit down and try and film something really structured and like a talking head, like a real video, whereas the other ones, maybe I'm just talking and I'm like, oh, if I'm just doing it haphazardly and it sucks, it's because I wasn't really trying. But now I'm trying. And so now that I'm trying, I am aware of how imperfect this video is and how imperfect all of my videos are. And it makes me not want to create because I have a vision in my head that I know I can't realize on camera at this stage of the process. But I mean, yeah, I'm not going to be perfect. But if you're watching this and you're still here, maybe you're resonating with a bit of my imperfection, a bit of the way that I am. Maybe you see yourself within me, and hopefully what I'm sharing with you has some value. And so imagine if I didn't do this video. Imagine if I didn't do any of my videos. If you found any value in any of my videos, if I had just not embraced imperfection, there'd be nothing. And I wouldn't feel like the feelings I have from creation. So embrace imperfection. Perfection doesn't exist. And we want to see the true you. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be you. That's all you ever need to be, is just you. And just being you is enough. Just being you is everything, honestly. If this video is resonating with you and you would like to continue seeing videos like this, please hit the subscribe button, and love to have you as part of the community. So let's jump into the next tip. Next is give your brain a break. Your brain is so tired. My brain is so tired. We work hard, we take care of other people, and then when we do have rest times, we tend to try and fill it with productive work, like taking care of the house, of chores, or maybe of like doom scrolling, which is like my thing that I do sometimes, is I doom scroll because I just want to like not be alone with my thoughts and instead just keep myself occupied. And that's obviously not healthy. Our brains need time to shut off. And if you can recall when you were younger, and I think a lot of my viewers are around my age, I'm 31, and when we were kids, like, we didn't have that much technology, right? If we were at the doctor's office and the doctor was running late, we'd be counting the ceiling tiles. I would daydream, I would watch the clouds and make up stories in my mind. And I don't do that as much anymore because I have so many distractions. And yet, when I do allow myself to turn that brain off, it feels so good. And so it's a practice, it's very difficult, and it's very uncomfortable because you might be faced with thoughts that you don't want to face, but you need to let go sometimes. You need to turn it off and rest. Rest is productive, and it's so important. So very important. Next one is go outside, get some fresh air, have the sun on your skin. Now, a caveat. I live in Canada, and winters are crazy cold and not fun, and it's dreary and this, that, and the other. And I get that. And it's like always my excuse of like, I don't want to go outside because it's cold and snowy. But we do need to try and make all weather be good weather, except all weather. Like, I've been trying to take my daughter out to play even when it's raining. And she really enjoys it, and I was enjoying it too. And nature is so important. I think what happens is we get so trapped into our homes. Most of us have air conditioning systems. We don't open the windows even, but get outside, and nature is so healing for the soul. It really slows us down. It's good for our mental health. It's been shown. And it's such a reminder to us to live in the present moment. It's truly grounding. So please get outside as much as you can. I'm going to try and work on it too. I think I'm going to create a shorts walking series for this fall. I don't know, a thought. Next is find the joy in the everyday. Often I hear from my friends, my clients, and myself that every day just feels the same like the last. It's mundane, it's boring, there's nothing new. But I wonder if it's because we were like really just living on autopilot. And what would happen if we truly found joy in the present moment in every day? So a silly example would be our grass grew fairly long because we didn't cut it, and I was playing with my daughter in the yard, and we were finding little flowers, and we were picking them, and we just had fun picking them all. And then I put them in a little vase, and that just made me so happy. I do that often when the grass overgrows and the little flowers come in. And it makes me all giddy to like place them all and arrange them. And that's just me finding joy in everyday things, or baking cookies, or just playing with my daughter. And I think what happens is if we live our life on autopilot, we don't see all these beautiful opportunities for joy and connection and contentment. So if you're aware more of what's going on, you can be more able to find the joy in the everyday. It's all around you. I swear it. You'll start noticing it. So think about how you can start embracing the joy of the everyday. And the last tip I have, which this one has been super crucial for me in my journey, is creating boundaries with myself. I really work well with strict boundaries. They are a form of self-care for me. And so I need to know when my hours are to see clients, or else I will be a bleeding heart and see clients all the time, whenever. And so my boundaries might include creating space for quiet time. And so if it's between working on something or rest, I reflect. And if I'm feeling tired, I will take that rest. That takes priority. Or it's limiting screen time. It's not overcommitting by saying no. Like, these are boundaries that I've had to protect my time, protect my energy. I know what my limits are. They're set in stone. And it makes it so much easier for me to say no when I know what my limits are. Because it's like I'm seeing a friend this evening, for instance, and I told her, well, my daughter goes to bed at 6:30, so I'm free after 6:30. Could I have gone to see her earlier? Yeah. But I don't want to start overcommitting out like over the time that I could be with my daughter. So I'm seeing her after 6:30. Was it an issue? No, it wasn't an issue, not whatsoever. And it wasn't difficult for me to communicate that, or to decide that that was my limit, or to communicate that limit. So create boundaries for yourself that are meaningful and protect your time, your energy, and also are in line with your values. If you clicked on this video, then you're probably somebody who wants to build a quieter life. And if that's the case, then I recommend you click this video right here, where I teach how to create your own quiet space at home with the mindset and the practical tips that you need. All right, see you next time. Bye.